We'd like to welcome you to the What Now Movement Virtual Business Summit. I, along with my co-founders, we are honored to have you watching and participating today. I am one of the co-founders. I'm Eric Twiggs. I'm your procrastination prevention partner. I'm the author of The Discipline of Now, and I'm the host of the 30-Minute Hour podcast.
And I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter, educator, author, publisher, host of the I Am Dr. Sharon Show, and co-host of the VMP Inspiring Our Community podcast.
I'm Ted Fells, president and CEO of Nucor Vision. I'm a business strategist, co-host of the 30-Minute Hour podcast, and also a co-founder of the What Now movement.
This pandemic, it's hit you with an unexpected situation. What now? So you can see our vision of the What Now movement is to build high-performing authors, career professionals, and entrepreneurs who are prepared for life's unexpected curveballs, because the bottom line, this pandemic will pass. But in the future, there will be something else. There will be another crisis. We want to make sure that you are positioned to seize the opportunity in what appears to be an obstacle. You can see right in front of you, we've got our vision. We want to create this international community that we're working with. And you can see that what our core values are as well. So that's a little bit about the movement itself. So now we'll move forward as far as what today's agenda is going to look like.
Absolutely. We have, again, such a wonderful packed summit for you. If you missed the first one, you're in for a treat because we have dynamic speakers again. We're actually going to start today with our very own partner, Mr. Eric M. Twiggs. His session is entitled The Discipline of Now, Your 5-Step Plan to Beat Procrastination. And then we have our first panel of the day, Leveraging Digital Platforms, a wonderful panel discussion with Nancy Waring, L. Williams Samuel, Sandra Harris Pittman, and Michael Sherlock. Our next presenter is Dawn Marie Bornhammer. Her session is entitled Leading with Empathy. Our last panel and last session of the day is Fireside Chat with the Founders. Ms. Karen McConnell-Jones will be facilitating this wonderful panel discussion with the founders, Eric M. Twiggs, Dr. Sharon H. Porter, and Mr. Ted Fells. We are ready for our final panel of the day. I am so excited. We have a special panel facilitator. I'm just going to read a little bit about who she is. Ms. Karen McConnell-Jones is an entrepreneur and philanthropist, being the first African-American service upscale salon day spa located in the prestigious downtown Washington, D.C. area, as she always say, 2 blocks from the White House. I love it. Ms. McConnell-Jones is the CEO and president of Class Act Productions and Class Act Speakers Bureau, lending her expertise in the area of business development, business and purpose coach, and inspirational speaker. She is also the co-founder and owner of VMP Magazine and Media, best known for her work she does in the community, earning over 30 proclamations for her work in the community. And she is my distinguished business partner, Miss Karen McConnell-Jones. Welcome, Karen.
Hello, everyone. Hello, world. I am ready for this. Are you all ready?
We are ready.
Okay, let me tell you, I'm going to bring the energy and we're going to get into it. I want to get to know this group up close and personal. So watch out, because we get ready to do it.
I'm nervous.
I know, right?
I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous? No, it's no time to be nervous here. We're just going to have fun. And let me just say thank you. This is a great honor, and I'm just happy to be here. So we're going to get into it, guys. Let's get started. Again, as Sharon said, my name is Karen McConnell-Jones. I'm your facilitator for today. And I just want to get started by introducing the panel that I will be interviewing. This is going to be great. I'm interviewing all the founders the What Now movement, and I just love it. What Now movement. Let me say that again. The What Now movement. Okay, so our first person that I'm going to introduce is Mr. Eric Twiggs. He is the author and speaker and certified executive coach. And now we have Dr. Sharon H. Porter, educator, author, and host. And she is a publisher, the president of SHP Enterprise Inc. And the last and final of the trio, we have Ted Fields. He is the president and CEO of New Core Vision Incorporation, which is an IT firm in Lanham, Maryland, in Prince George's County. So, guys, I am happy to be here with you all and just ready to get it started. This is just great. I love this. The What Now movement. Let's go right into it. The What Now movement. I must say, I love the name. How did you come up with the name, and just how did all this start? And I'm going to start with Mr. Eric first.
Well, the good thing is that the three of us, we talk all the time, right? So I've been on Dr. Sharon's show as a co-host. She's interviewed me. Ted and I, we go way back. We all talk all the time. And we were just starting to talk about this pandemic situation. And we were also planning to partner together. And Karen, you may remember this. We were all planning on partnering before the pandemic really took place. And then when everything happened, we said, okay, we still need to do something. And we started talking and we said, what now? Hey, you've been furloughed. What now? Business is dried up. What now? What are you going to do? And it's really evolved from there. And it's just amazing, all the ideas and insights and things that have come out of just of those two words, what now?
Wow. So now, because it takes three to put this together. So I want to now ask Dr. Sharon, what was it for you? Why did you want to get involved? How did you come up with this name here?
Absolutely. And truly it was the title. We just said, what now? We was like, oh, that sounds good. But I have to even go back even to that. And with Eric, I don't know if you probably do remember, but you were at a festival and I actually interviewed. This is before I even knew you. I interviewed you. I was doing live coverage. I interviewed you. And then we happened to find out that we're all part of a Spring 90 group. And so for me, that is where it started. We all pledged our respective sororities and fraternities in the season of Spring 90, which we're a very proud group. And so when that came about and we were just all talking about, we really need to do something. People are at home. What now? What are people going to do? And I don't even know who actually said what now, but we all said, that's it. We said, that's it with the What Now movement. And we put things to motion and did not waver. I mean, it was like boom, boom, boom. And the first conference, I think we planned in 3 weeks. And it was just phenomenal. So it's just been an act of just teamwork, I would say.
Great. And of course now, Ted, I got to have your take on this.
So it's really pretty interesting. As everyone's mentioned, we've been working with each other for some time, and Eric and I have always been saying, we want to do something together. And that's kind of how we got the 30-minute hour podcast going. And I'd always hear Eric tell these great things about Dr. Sharon. And then I met her and I was like, man, I joined in on the Dr. Sharon show. I was like, man, she's great. And so we got together, as Eric mentioned, to talk about, trying to do some type of a conference of some type. And we just knew that we wanted to just put some great minds together and some experiences and let's see what we could do to make it happen. And then the pandemic hit and it was kind of like, okay, well, what now? Right. And the name came from that. It was kind of like, why don't we just make it the What Now movement? Let's not overthink it. And we don't want it to just be that. We want it to be a movement, right? I mean, so that you're not only thinking about pandemic, right, but you're thinking about any time you're going through something, instead of taking time to try to wallow in that, come up with something, how you can move forward. I have a mentor that said to me once, he said, Ted, you only can have like 3 type of days, right? And I know he's listening in, Tim Dickens. He said you can only have good, great, and excellent days, right? So it's like, okay, it's a pandemic going on. Good, great, excellent. I mean, how are you going to figure this out? How do you move forward and make it happen. And then we, in our core, we're all about, collaboration, right? What better case study and collaboration and how the three of us got together, right? We talked about innovation, right? That's what we're doing, right? And just using the digital platforms to get done what we need to get done. And then, we got the procrastination prevention partner in the group. So one thing that we don't do is procrastinate in the group. Our meetings are fast, they're efficient. We start moving, we get things going. And it's just like, I've worked in a lot of different partnerships, but none ever like the What Now movement. So I'm just honored and excited about what we've done and where we're going.
That's great. That's great. I love it. I love it. And guys, I just want to say, this is just, I wish you all be in a proud moment. And if I just can do anything today is just make sure that your audience out here get to know who you are and just to get to know you guys up close and personal. So we're going to go into the mission statement then. What the mission statement behind the What Now movement? The mission of the What Now movement is to build high performing entrepreneurs, authors, and employees who are prepared for life's unexpected curveballs. Life unexpected curveballs, and we are experiencing one now. So I'm going to go to Dr. Sharon Porter. What do that really mean? What do this mission statement really mean? And who are the people that you really want to touch?
When we talk and we were putting the mission and the vision together, we really took time with this because we oftentimes get caught up in trying to service everybody and that's where we lose. And so we wanted to be very specific. Who do we target individually, basically? And that's what we looked at. We looked at the entrepreneur, we looked at the author, but not only in it, because I wanted to make sure, because as a doorpreneur, the career professional is so important, because just because you're not an entrepreneur, and it may be just a career professional, things come about. You may get laid off. We talked about Jackie Wright with the Cheesecake Sisters, who back then it was the government furlough. So it could be anything. That curveball can be anything. It could be a layoff from your job, COVID-19. And so whatever it is, you can be fired. We want to set up individuals, the career professional, the entrepreneur, as well as the author, so that no matter what comes, you can sustain yourself. That's why those multiple streams of income are so important. And I have to go back to the leveraging digital platforms. Those individuals cannot just survive off doing one thing. And that should be a lesson to us all. We have Sandra Pittman, who 37 years had this restaurant. That's all she did. She had others. She was very, very high into network marketing, but the restaurant was her livelihood. She had to make that shift very quickly. I can't serve the food like I normally do, but I'm going to get this cooking show together. And so now she has added things to her tool belt. And that's what it's about. It's not just doing one thing, but how can we add to what we're already doing? And that's what it's about to me.
Wow. Well said. Well said. So I'm going to answer, and this leads me into my next question. So you are good at this, Sharon. So my next question is, we are in the middle of a curveball here. We have several curveballs going on, but definitely what started this was COVID-19 for you all. So in that, you're going to have failure, but we all know that failure still have purpose. I'm going to say this again. Failure still have purpose. So in the midst of these curveballs, you're going to have things that come, like you said, you're going to lose your job. Your businesses have went from being at the peak of its level. Now it has taken a decline. It has failed. Some cannot even reopen. Some is at the point of devastation. So at this point, how do the What Now movement come in and just save this person? Or what is it that you can do and help say to get that person to understand it is a process, and it is another opportunity on the other side of this failure that still have purpose? And I'm going to take Mr. Ted and let you answer that first.
Wow, that's a great question. The basis of the What Now movement is really around the what now movement mindset, right? Like you're thinking about this stuff. You're looking at the situation, like you're declining, but you're not dead, right? You know, it's a tough time, but you're still in it, right? So this is this platform is such that it's bringing a lot of great minds together, right? So that you can leverage experiences from others that are out there. I mean, some of the people that we've had, and well, all the people that we brought into both of our summits and others that we have on the horizon, they're bringing in all levels of expertise. And where can you get that type of expertise and information just in one platform, right? Just to change your mindset. You know, we've had people that are in the mental health space, and they're talking to you about, you know, how to get your mind and body and spirit where you need to be, right? We got, you know, authors that are writing inspirational and motivational books to just kind of get you going, as we talked about procrastination earlier today, and empathy and all these different leadership and all of that. Like, this is that one big think tank that's there that allows and affords that opportunity to anyone that just takes the time to join, to get that mindset where that mindset needs to be, so that you can deal with whatever the challenge is, whether it's pandemic, whether, as Dr. Sharon said, the loss of job or challenge, you know, just anything that may happen within life, just getting your mindset to the place that you need to be in order to say, okay, you know what, this is what's happening. Let me come up with let me assess it. Let me come up with a strategy, and let me execute, and not just sit back and again, just kind of wallow in sorrow on this.
Yes. Yes. And now, Mr. Eric, I want to have your take on this. So, because you're definitely known as the Mr. Non-Procrastination Man here. So how can we definitely, look at them trying to smile at this. So how can we definitely make sure that, you know, we do not just stay in that place, because it is a mindset. It is about our mental health when things is just unexpectedly throwing us this curveball. So how can we not just stay in that place and dwell in, oh my gosh, my business, I failed, I got laid off my job, what I'm gonna do now? How do we not get in that? Because that's part of how procrastination starts, because we overthink it and we get overwhelmed with situations. So how can we not fall in that gap, or I fail, what now? So yes, Mr. Perfect Man with the procrastination.
Well, here's the thing. So every crisis, there's always an opportunity, right? If you think about it. I mean, like, I was reading this book and they were talking about how like 50% of the Fortune 500 companies were started during some type of an economic downturn. So you really just have to focus on the opportunity. And like Ted was saying, the whole what now movement, it's a mindset. It's not about like one thing you can do. It's about a way of thinking. And like I always tell people, you know, you've heard of the rainy day fund. Everybody tell you, yeah, you got to set up a rainy day fund. So the assumption is at some point it's going to rain, right? At some point. So it's about being prepared, being equipped. And I know of several people who they're doing better now than they were before the pandemic, right? And I know of some other people in the same event that everything is crumbling and falling apart, right? What's the difference? The difference is how they think. The difference is their mindset. And so our whole point of coming together is to really make sure that people understand the importance of having that mindset, to know that, you know, I'm going to focus on the opportunity. I'm not going to just fixate on the crisis.
Great answer. And Dr. Sharon Porter, I would ask you the same, you know, because you are a community person. So now let's just take it to the small part, our small businesses who serve the community. They was, you know, coming in this business, serving the community. So when you're a community serving person, you're doing more giving out the heart than you is your business actually, as we say, physically making the success of the money. So now this pandemic, this curveball done came, and now we in the what now moment. So how do we support that, you know, community business and not let them fail to the point of, you know, they are in devastation? So how we bring them back from that?
Absolutely. And that is so true. My whole thing through this is the more you give, the more you receive. And I just believe that you have to give in order to receive. Like, I truly believe that. And I'll just give an example. I'm a publisher. And so several organizations, I create fundraisers where I donate all Amazon royalties to different organizations. Well, yeah, that's cutting out on my bottom line, of course, but I believe in the mission of it. And and if I had the money myself, I would be giving it. So it's a win-win. But when I tell you, just a week and a half ago, when I looked in my office mail and got a huge check from a school district who wanted a bulk order of my principal book, it just brought joy over me, because I didn't look for that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I believe that when you are a small business owner and you, of course, trying to make it, you're trying to survive, you have to be indebted to the community, because the community is who's supporting you. Mm-hmm. And so you have to look to see, how can I support my community? Not just make a profit, because I want to be clear, you're in business to make a profit, but that can't be the only thing that you're worried about. Mm-hmm. And so giving, and I know, and Karen, just your heart of giving, like you give to a fault, make sure that everything is given, but it comes back. Mm-hmm. It comes back. And I just believe that someone I think it was Sandra, talked about the law of attraction. That's mm-hmm. real for me. Mm-hmm. So you have to attract what you want. So as a small business owner, you can't just be thinking about that profit. That's why you're in business. But in a small community, it's about the community. And that, going back to that mindset, you have to have the spirit of giving. That's the only way you're going to receive.
And that's true, yes. And thank you for that honest and vulnerable answer, because, let's talk about that. And that is true, because I was raised up in a household, in order to receive a blessing, you must first be a blessing. That is the true mission in life. And so we all have to have that spiritual level here. And I was going to go there. That's my next question. Sharon, you keep leading me right into my next question. So this is great. So that was my next question. In business, we have grown to take away our spirituality and not bring that part of us in it. But you just said it. In order to receive a blessing, you must first be a blessing. You have to step outside of yourself and still do for others in the midst of a crisis. And that's what I understand. And the What Now movement is all about, is showing people how to still step outside of themselves and still be given of themselves, and opportunities will come, because out of crisis, opportunity does come. So how important is it to have that spiritual mentality that is needed to get you past this? And is it okay for the What Now movement to talk about this and say that this is a part of moving to that next level of what's now, So I'm going to ask that to Eric. How important is that?
Oh, I think it's critical. I think it's, any type of structure, you have to start with the foundation, right? And for me, the spiritual piece is a foundation. And I think it's the starting point of everything that I do. And I know when we meet, when we pray before our meetings,
yes,
to ask for wisdom and understanding, because, I've been around long enough and I've bumped my head enough to learn how that spiritual foundation is so critical to everything. So yeah, that's a big part. And I think that's a big part of how we're at this point right now.
Wow. I truly believe that as well. So now, guys, if we can stay in this moment and just get a little more deeper, and it's going to be a very sensitive subject matter that we're going to talk about. And we're going to be honest and vulnerable about how emotionally we feel about it, and how the What Now movement can help pass this. As we know, as you said, life going to give us curveballs. The unexpected going to happen. We're in the midst of COVID-19. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're adjusting to social distancing, being home. Now we just on this lift where we have to stay home, only go out when necessary, the different way of shopping, and we're doing things. We all teleworking now, and we getting adjusted to this COVID-19, all the Zoom meetings and everything. And now, wow, we experienced another curveball. George Floyd. But is this really another curveball or to the African American community? This is something that we see more too often. But just this time, because in the midst of where our community is, where our people are, we just came out more, outpour. You just seen an outpour, a protest, even if it got to the riot stage. Should it happen? Should it not? But is it because of COVID-19 and we already in a sensitive situation and now we constantly in another sensitive situation, did that make the community come out more and say, this is enough, no more? Or is it the fact that we need to just stand up? It's just time to stand up for the injustice that we constantly keep seeing. And as Black African-American men on this panel, I definitely want to address this to you. So how do we recover from this? And how do the What Now movement make its statement on what is going on? And I'm going to start with Ted first.
So very interesting topic, very interesting time, right? So, so if we just look at 2020, right? So, this year has just moved so fast. We started off with the very tragic situation with Kobe Bryant, and then it kind of everyone had everyone's attention, right? Everyone was touched by it, whether you were a fan of his or not, just the family and the loss and lives that were lost during that helicopter crash. Then followed by COVID. Right, just brought us all together again. Everyone, everyone's attention was on what's going on. Everybody again was kind of unified and just dealing with this situation. You'd hear everyone say, "We're all in this together." Then, everything that happened with George Floyd, and again, everyone is kind of looking at this, and depending on how you feel about whatever in this, it has everyone's attention. Those have been three things that have happened this year that have drawn everyone's attention. For me, and how I look at this is like I think it's a good time just for everyone just to look at this and how do you become better, right? How do you become better as just people, right? The What Now movement is a very diverse movement. Right. So, yeah, it's obvious that the founders here are all African American, and there's definitely going to be, always thought about how we can improve, our people and businesses of African American businesses. But then just how do we just collaborate with people? Right. Because all three things that have happened have brought people together. The change that's happening right now, it's not just African American change. You can't change racism without having everyone engaged in this and helping to make the change. And so I think that as people, this diverse mix of people has been in three major things in 2020 that's gotten our attention, and you're starting to see things moving because we have to do these things together. We have to be in this together. We've been forced to shelter in together, right? We've been forced to deal with a tragic situation, and a lot of us felt like that was family. When you saw that tragic accident, whether you're a basketball fan or if you're a parent, and you could see the loss of children, and then now for everyone to see what happened with George Floyd and said, this has to change. We all need to work together. We all need to love each other. We all need to collaborate and to be able to improve each other collectively. And so, yeah, we're all in this together. We're equal, and let's become better from it.
Wow, thank you for that great answer. And definitely, Eric, I want to get your take on this as well, and it's well said. And I just think Ted have a good point here, because we all in this together. It's no color lines here. And I think that was the message here. You saw young, you saw old, you saw black, white, different, just different nationalities, different, whether you're different denominations coming together, because it was a spiritual as well, so it just was great to see. And maybe because of the time that we are in, it was enough is enough. And the whole community just came out together, and especially the young people, to see the millennials and everyone out there just getting very much involved. So how did it affect you, and how can the What Now movement get more involved to make sure community crisis like this just come out in a positive side of things?
So I think if I look at this, it's put us in a place where we're finally having authentic conversations, right? Because I think we got to a place of comfort. The economy's going pretty well. We have an African American in the White House. So it could be you're easily lulled into thinking, oh, everything's fine. I've got a good position. My business is going well. But then when certain things happen, it puts you in a place like with the George Floyd situation. Now you have to address what's really been beneath the surface the entire time. And it forces you to have these authentic and real conversations. I just believe sometimes things have to get worse before they get better, right? And that's where we are right now. And so we're starting to address these things. And I've never seen in my lifetime where you're seeing the diversity as it relates to concern. If you go back to the civil rights movement, it was mostly African Americans. With this, you're seeing, I've seen some of the marches where it seems like it's mostly white. And that's amazing. And I do think that we're going to come out of this better. And I just think as far as what we're doing, we're having these authentic conversations. And now the issues have been brought to the table. And I just see things getting better from this point on.
Great, thank you for that great answer. And Dr. Sharon Porter, I want to come to you now, because you had touched on it a little bit earlier, and this was one of my questions I wanted to come back and ask you. And now with everybody in this COVID-19 experiencing the George Floyd, we all are just journaling. I think that's one piece of saving our mental sanity here. We've been journaling, we've been writing, just to get the message out. We are telling our message in some kind of way. So how do you take this person, because you're an experienced publisher here, how do you take this person from just journaling down their thoughts to being the Amazon #1 bestseller? How is that? Because you done it over 16 times or more. And, not just mentioning no number, but I think it's over 16 times. Every 5 minutes I'm getting an email, the bestseller list. So how do you take these thoughts, these precious thoughts, these precious journaling thoughts that we have, and you turn it into a book, and not only a book, but a bestseller, but not only a bestseller, but giving that person a tangible, personable thing that had came out of this, that they can now look back and say, wow, I did this. How do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to writing, that's true, because during this COVID-19, as I had mentioned before, I think everybody wanted to write. They wanted to get it out. That's how they were expressing themselves, which is a good thing. But one of the things that I offer so that people can do that is to simply put their thoughts down. We actually had a publisher on the first summit, and he said the same thing. You have to concentrate on just putting your thoughts down. That's it. That's all you need to worry about. You're the writer. You're the author. You don't need to worry about anything else. And that's what I tell people. And going back to Eric with the procrastination, the perfect is one of the ones that he said, perfectionist. That's why you can't get through anything, because you're trying to make it perfect. When you're writing a book, that's not your job. That's the publisher's job and the editor's job. Your job is just to write and get it out. And so that's how, even with the What Now movement, that we're helping authors, manifest that. And then going back to even with this whole George Floyd case with the writing and everything, we have to begin to identify our racial identities. Like, that's huge, right? And understanding what those social justice issues are. That's what people are writing about now. They're singing about it, they're writing about it, because that's what's on the hearts of everyone. And I see our role as the movement is helping businesses do that, helping them understand what those racial identities are on their job. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're in corporate America, you have diversity in that that firm or that business. So just getting back, you have to focus on the main thing, keeping the main thing, as they say. Put first things first. Your job is to write. That is it. And then you hand it over. That's it. You don't do anything else. And that's how you do that. You get in the way of yourself when you try to do other things that's not your lane.
Well said. I like that. So maybe I can finally stop being
exactly
in and finish that book that I started 3 years ago, right? So,
absolutely.
Yes. Eric, you had to follow up to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally, I wish I had Dr. Sharon in my life back when I was starting to write my book, because that is the biggest writer's thing, where you're trying to write and edit at the same time.
Right,
and that has been my problem. Yes, I'm trying to, because and she said it, I'm such a professional. I was like, oh, that don't sound right. People ain't gonna like that. So I got to get out my own way and just do it. So yes, I like this. So guys, we have about a good 10 minutes left or less. And, I am the girl that's going to bring out the other side of us, the fun side, the loving side, the quirky side of us. So I'm going to just go there. We're going to just do this for the last 8 minutes. Sharon laughing because she's like, I know, Karen. No, she not. Oh, no, she not. So, guys, I had text Sharon to say, it is storming real bad here. So my power been flicking on and off. And so if the power go out, you got to do what you do, because guess what? We 4 have something in common. We all are hosts, and we all are hosts of our own shows and collaboration shows. So now we're going to play the game. Let's host the host. Okay? So you all going to ask each other questions. And we're just going to have fun. We're going to now just ask questions that's just not related to anything business-wise. Let's get personal. So I'm going to ask Sharon to start this off. You ask the first question, Dr. Sharon.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I will. And so I'm going to pose my question to Ted. Because Ted, he is so funny but serious. It's like I've never seen a serious, funny person.
I agree. And before you ask that question, I agree, because when I met him on their show, he was the one at the end being goofy, kept walking past the camera door, so I love that.
Yes.
Serious
funny. He's serious funny. Exactly. Yes. Very particular. And so I just want to really, and I know you said not business-wise, but it's important because he is the president of Nucor Vision, and a huge corporation, technology corporation. And as one of the partners of the What Now movement, you are the one that's going to make sure all dots are on the I's, all T's are crossed. You're that person. And so I just want to ask you, how do you, in your technology business, how do you make sure that your people are set up, that, they're taking you serious? Because you have that quirky side, the joke side, but you're serious. So how do you do that and, transfer that to make sure, as president and CEO of your firm, that you are bringing all of your coworkers in and everybody is on the same page?
So I really I have always focused on just communication, right? I always tell people, communication is transmitting and receiving, right? So how do I get my messages out? Like I've never been the one to just be like, come on, we got to do it right now. Like I'm going to joke with you. I'm going to collaborate with you. Every person I'm trying to connect with, just individually. And sometimes if you can tell a joke here and there, you can get them to to maybe, the walls can kind of come through and down, and you can really help the folks to understand. The other thing that people say I'm a visionary, right? I'm always on the whiteboard. Like my team is always like, if I see me get up and I go toward the whiteboard, they just drop their heads, right? Because it's like, I gotta put it up on the whiteboard to see it. And most of the times when I go to the whiteboard, I don't know really what I'm doing, but I just know I need to just make it visual. And so I think that's the biggest thing that's helped, is just making things visual. And you talked about crossing T's and dotting I's. Like, I'm really good. My thing is the strategy, vision part, but I'm only as good as a good execution team, right? Which is what I have here, right? Because it's like, again, all I got to do is just kind of just throw some stuff out there, and then you and Eric just come back with just, I'm like, that's it, right? And it just helps me to just be able to do, like you say, know your lane. Like, I know that I can be I need to improve at execution. I know that, I procrastinate a little bit, right? But I can put the stuff out there, right? And I just need the team that can help make it happen, which is what is so great about this team. Is I can say it's not there, that's not it, but then I may not necessarily know how to do it. And so that's why I think this is just such a good mix between the three of us.
Wow. Okay, so Eric, it's at your time now. What is your question? Who are you going to ask your question to?
Well, I have a question for Dr. Sharon.
Oh, Lord.
So Dr. Sharon, because you've got these shows, like you do several full-time things, and they're all excellent, and you make it look easy. And I'm very familiar with you just from being around you as far as the business side. But what do you do for balance? Like, what do you do when you're not hosting a show and being the next Oprah? What does balance look like for Dr. Sharon?
And it's not easy. So, and you all know that, I tell you. And, but let me say that, let me preface this, it's having good people around you. And I can say that on all ends here. Because when I feel like I can't go anymore, this one right here, I don't know if she's there for me, but Karen is right under me on my screen. So I say this one right here, she is a workhorse. And so she expects your work ethic to match hers. And so a lot of times the energy around you helps get things done. I'm an early riser. I've said this before, like 3:00 is my hour, right? Now, you think like, wow, but I got to go to bed at night. You know what I mean? It's like 8, 9 o'clock. I'm spent. Like, that's it for me. And so my downtime, I really just don't have that. And balance is something that I need to work on, because I'm an idea generator. I will say that forever. I sit at night and all of these, I can't even sleep. So many ideas are coming my way. And so what I try to do is balance myself with all that I'm doing. So I don't really do things for me, except for sleep. That's the only thing I do for me, really, is sleep, because that's the only way that I can go and go and go. But I will say that this whole pandemic and teleworking has made me realize that I truly want to work myself on my own. Like, I've seen that. And I often talk with Karen about that, who's been an entrepreneur, straight entrepreneur for years. Like she said, she can't even remember when she received a paycheck. I actually long for that, at this point now, because I've worked almost 30 years with, from someone. So the balance is not there, Eric, the balance is not there. I work all the time between the magazine, publishing books, all the shows, it's a lot of hard work, but I enjoy it. And I think that's the difference. It's not a drudgery zone, it's a desire zone. And so that's what makes it work for me.
That was a great answer. Great answer. So, and that is so true as us as being workaholics, the balance is in enjoying what you do, because, to get to that next level, sometimes you have to put in the work, and the balance is coming is listening to your body and knowing the hours that you do need to rest, to let it rejuvenate and recover, but you can get up and do it all over again, because we are worker bees. And, and it's great to be worker bees. And then I know with Sharon, you are worker bee for the Lord. He's going to give you that balance and purpose that you need to keep moving. So now, Ted, I'm going to let you ask your question because everybody asked the question. So you are the last here. Who is your question going to go to?
So I'm gonna ask Eric this question, right? So and I know Eric definitely the best as friends, and we attend the same church, and we both crown each other's shoulders about our DC football team and all of that. But I just want to know how you're able to put up with me, right? Because I'm always just throwing things at Eric and ideas. I mean, just from it's interesting. We were both we go to the same church, and so we came up with this. I came up with this concept about Christian business partners, and we had all these small businesses in the church that we kind of met every month and talk about how to work with each other and have both a spiritual and business foundation. I said, Eric, why don't you come in and do a presentation every month on tying something spiritual to business? He said, okay. So then it was, hey, Eric, we need to do a podcast. What do you think about getting? Okay. Hey, Eric, we need to do something with Dr. Sharon. And it's like, okay. So he's the guy that's always like able to just deal with me and just these ideas that just come to me that he ends up having to do something. So how are you able to put up with me and have been able to put up with me for all these years and continue?
Well, that's a good question. It's a battle putting up with you, Ted. It requires a lot of prayer and that type of thing. But no, I mean, I think a lot of times we're on the same page, and I think we're normally focused on the same objective. I mean, if you go to the church thing, I think I was the spiritual advisor for the ministry, and so it's like we are kind of on the same page, kind of looking for the same outcome. And Ted is interesting. Like he's this idea guy, Ted is the guy that can look out into a field and say, oh, you know what, this is going to be this and this and this and this. And you look out months later, and sure enough, just what he said is out there on the field. And so he's an idea. So I think we're a compliment from that standpoint, because I'm really focused on kind of the nuts and bolts and the execution and follow up and those types of things. So I think we complement each other to a degree along those lines. I mean, even like the name, like he'll just come up with something like, for example, I wish we'd name our podcast. Oh yeah, 30-minute hour. And to this day, people are like, man, that's a great name. Oh my gosh, how'd you come up with that? So no, I think it's a good compliment. Yeah. So that's what it is.
Oh, well, guys, this has been great. It has been a pleasure to have me to be here and to be with the founders of the What Now movement. I just congratulate you guys. I wish you all the best, and may God, stay over your covering here and just continue to be a service to the people and do it well. And nothing else. I am a purpose coach, and I believe in being in your purpose and staying in your purpose. And you all are a fine example of that. So thank you. It has been an honor, and I look forward to many more things to come out the What Now.
Thank you so Absolutely. Thank you, Sharon. And I just wanted to say, because I know that you had a special offer for ads for the magazine that you wanted to share out to our listeners.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So if you contact Sharon and everything, Sharon, you're going to give them a way to contact them, because I had to notify this through Sharon as well, far as being the co-founder of the VNP magazine, right? So we just, I wanted to ask Sharon, I was like, Sharon, what can we do? How can I help give back, to this great organization? So the first 5 people that would contact Sharon, we'll give you an ad at the special offer, because our next issue is getting ready to come out. July and August is getting ready to come out. We'll give you an ad for $150. So
wow.
Yes, jump on it. The first 5, and then if we get past 5, Sharon, everybody get an ad.
We can't say that now. We can't.
Because what we'll do if we'll cap it off, if we get more than 5, we'll have to just put it in the next edition. But you have to just join up now. And this offer only lasts until 12 midnight tonight. So Sharon, you will get them the information.
Guys, that's a deal. That is a deal. And actually, our sales email address is sales@VNP Magazine. So just put What Now Movement, and we will give you that deal. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A wonderful facilitator. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. Guys, our second summit.
Group hug. Group hug. It's socially
virtually right now.
That's right. Put on your mask and hug. It's been great.
But you know what? It's all because of the people that have come and poured into us. Oh my goodness. Each time, like, it just gets better and better.
Wow.
Oh,
I mean, I was so motivated just listening to everyone today.
Absolutely.
It was just an amazing day. And I guess I don't feel as tired because we didn't go to 3 o'clock this time.
Right, I know. Feel a little bit
better.
Yes, absolutely. And the great thing is, guys, those of you who jumped in late, we will be posting the recordings of each session. So you will get to see it in its entirety. Just really excited. We want to thank all of our guests today. I mean, from even our very own Eric Twiggs, who delivered a phenomenal presentation today. You definitely want to go back and catch that if you did not. And then our first panel, I mean, wow, just so impressed with that group. Oh my goodness. I mean, every person on there. Oh my God. And then Dawn coming with leading with empathy, which is so needed. Thank you, Dawn. And then Karen McConnell-Jones ending up facilitating our fireside chat. So just amazing. Just amazing.
Great. It was great. But Eric, did you notice anything about our boxes and how there's a difference in our boxes between the three of us? Did you notice any difference?
Yeah, I noticed. I think I missed the black shirt memo. Ted.
Oh God, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had a black shirt.
Yeah, me neither. I guess you learn something new every day as a founder, right?
We got the same shirt we had on in the first summit.
Yeah.
Dr. Sharon went out and got the black shirt.
Oh my God, it's all in together. One of our wonderful partners. And guys, you know what? We need to talk about the engaging our partners and how can people partner with us so that they can get a black shirt or a white What Now Movement shirt. Who wants to share about the partnership?
Eric?
Yeah, I mean, it's first step, make sure that you're joined up with this What Now Movement group page. I mean, that's really the key thing. And, each day of the week, we've got a different theme, so we're putting out good content, Monday's motivational Monday or marketing Monday. So mental health, something with an M. But each day we've got a theme, and I know we've had previous presenters. I think this presents an opportunity to share your content within the movement and really send that message. We're going to have certain sponsors that are going to be featured on the What Now Movement page. So again, we're looking for partners and sponsors, and just join us. Like I said, because you can really contribute. We just look forward to collaborating.
Absolutely.
And this movement it's evolving. Like, it's very fluid. So we're looking for feedback. Like, what can make this movement provide the value that you'd like to see as the author, as the business owner, as the professional. Because we're the one thing about, like, the connection, right, is they're all like interconnected, like gears, right? Like, you can be a professional that works for someone who decides you want to write a book.
Absolutely.
Or decides that you want to start a company.
Yeah.
Or you get on a company and decide you want to write a book, like I've been trying to do for the longest, but I've been procrastinating. But writing a book.
I heard there's a book out that can help you with that, Ted.
There's a book that can help me with that, and a coach, but just help us to help you, and this group to just continue to evolve and provide content and opportunities to collaborate and innovate. That's what this is about. So we're not putting it in a box. Like this is a boxless
Exactly. So I'm excited, guys. You want to stay tuned for our next summit. And if you're interested in perhaps presenting, just send us an email with a clip of a live or a presentation that you've done. We'll be glad to review it and get back with you. But we're really excited to have this platform to help everyone that's a part of the movement. Definitely. So guys, if that's it, until next time, we're saying goodbye, and make sure you have your What Now mindset ready. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.